Hey, everybody! Welcome to the Cup of Joe show. I'm Joe, and this is Jeremy. How'd you like that entrance? Comment, like,
Share.
give us your thoughts. Hopefully people didn't like that, because we may have to do that every week. But we're back, and we're happy to be back for another week of the Cup of Joe show. We have lots to talk about, so we're going to jump right into it. We've seen a movie, and it was 300 Rise of an Empire. And, I was kind of, I was intrigued, but hopes not very high. Expectations were kind of shaky. So went into it with kind of middle-of-the-road expectations. And to be honest, I kind of hoped for a little more. I thought that Eva Green was fantastic in her role, and it just fell a little short of what I wanted. I wanted there to be more mindless action, and it was, instead of hand-to-hand combat, it was a lot of ship-to-ship combat. It was ships ramming ships, which was cool, but it's not why you see 300. So it provides plenty of hand-to-hand combat, but I wish that more of it was just that, simply that, other than naval battles. So that was slightly disappointing, but everything else, it was pretty good for what it was supposed to be. Following up 300, it obviously wasn't going to be as good as 300 was. So, they did the best, and they actually set up a sequel to the sequel. So we'll see what happens, I guess. But what are your thoughts on the film?
Well, largely I agree. It was I didn't go in with the highest expectations. I didn't think it would be as enjoyable as the first 300, and it wasn't. But for what it was, a sequel that came 7 years later and was stuck in developmental hell for a while. It did its job. I actually found the naval battles somewhat interesting, but again, as you said, it would have been nice to see a little more hand-to-hand combat. Eva Green she kind of stole the show there. The leader of the Greeks, Themistocles, was kind of generic. He didn't quite have the same panache as Gerard Butler, as Leonidas. So he was cool, and he was badass, but he was kind of just there.
That's true. That's true. I agree. And another thing is, I really thought that Gerard Butler could have spared something for some sort of cameo in the film, because every time Themistocles, who's the main character, went to Sparta, he was out getting coffee, and it was kind of annoying because he just wasn't ever around, and they brought everyone else back.
That was alive anyway.
Yeah. Even some people that weren't in flashbacks, they brought back people. So it was just it was just odd that he wasn't there, and I think that, I don't know what the deal was, but I feel like he should have spared something, a small part in the film, for some sort of cameo. But other than that, it was pretty. The scene where Themistocles gets on the horse. Oh God, it's like.
Why was the horse even there?
I know. They're just like, okay, do you have it down below? And I thought it was I don't know. I thought it was something that they shouldn't have had back then, but they had.
Like a machine gun.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was expecting. All of a sudden, a horse comes out, and he's able to I don't know. The horse walks on water and jumps through fire. So it's a ridiculous scene. But anyway, I don't know if that really ruined anything. I guess I guess it kind of spoiled the horse, but it's really not
True.
that big of a spoiler. So, I don't know. It was entertaining, but it fell slightly short of what I wanted it to be, basically.
Yeah, that sums it up, I'd say.
Okay. Now we will move on to the viewer's favorite segment and the website's only segment. That is the box office. So we will take it away. Take it away, Jeremy.
Okay. As always, we'll start with number 5. Last weekend, that spot belonged to Son of God, and that crashed 60% down to 10.4 million. Clearly, the flock came out on the first weekend there. It was a bit of a rush to go see that, and maybe also it wasn't that great. I don't know. I haven't heard much on the word of mouth for it. Maybe people just rushed out on the first weekend. Who knows? Okay, 4th place went to the Lego Movie, and that was down 48% to 10.9 million. It has a total of just under 225 million. That's the first kind of bad hold for the Lego Movie, but I mean it had to happen at some point, unless you're Frozen, and especially considering that there was direct competition against Mr. Peabody and Sherman for children and families. It's not terribly surprising. The Lego Movie has still, made a boatload of money. Number 3 was Non-Stop, and that was down 45%. It made 15.8 million for a 52.6 million total. That's pretty solid. That's not a bad hold. It's not a great one, but it's still doing a lot better than The Gray and Unknown, and it's not too bad.
Not bad, yeah.
Okay, and then the top 2 spots were held by the openers last weekend. Number 2 was Mr. Peabody and Sherman. That made 32.2 million, and that's not half bad considering those characters are kind of like B Squad kind of animated characters. They're not terribly popular or anything like that. So I mean, obviously this was never going to be, Lego Movie or Frozen big, but that's not bad. And if it holds all right, it could easily get over 100 million. Finally, our number 1 film was 300: Rise of an Empire, and that opened to 45.1 million. At first glance, that seems like a far cry from the 70 million opening of the first one, and it is, but I mean, it's been 7 long years since the first one. Gerard Butler wasn't back. It just, trailers made it seem kind of repetitive and all that, so I don't think that the demand or the anticipation was that high. So, I mean, all those things considered, I don't think a 45 million opening is that bad, really.
I thought that it was pretty good, and I know like I told you when I was reading your blog, the first number I saw was 71 million, and I was just like, how did that happen? But 48 million, that I really think that's pretty. Sorry,
that was my mistake. I did it first.
It's true, but so 45 million, they're really not bad there. Son of God, sorry, it's nothing against you. I mean, I think Rotten Tomatoes sums it up. I mean, I haven't seen it, but I mean, it just says like people of faith will see it, but it's nothing. It's just generic, I mean, I don't want to say what's the point, but what's the point? It's just, if it's just a generic movie, why rush out and go see it? So. Other than that, by the way, Frozen comes out on Tuesday, and it's also still in theaters. So, however you want to see it, it's up to you. Other than that, I'm thinking, Mr. Peabody and Sherman, I thought did pretty well.
Yeah, it definitely did.
So interesting stuff as always. Oh, and Non-Stop, I think it's doing pretty well too.
It is doing
honestly.
pretty well. It is.
I mean, like I said, it's probably terrible, but maybe it's not. I don't know. So I think a lot of good stuff at the box office. I think a lot of movies should be pretty proud, at least in that top five, except for Son of God. But I mean, I think it's doing as well as it could. So good stuff as always, Jeremy. And now we move on. We move on to the upcoming movies that come out this weekend, that are already out, because it's Saturday. So, let's talk about... There's a couple interesting ones that came out. There's,
Yeah, as you
couple
can tell,
ones.
I'm
You don't know?
I'm not very good at stalling.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
I'm letting you look them up. I'm gonna stall here.
Yeah, I'm going to Rotten Tomatoes because I want
Mm-hmm.
to, I want to be able to see the ratings on these things because I
Makes
checked,
sense.
but I want to see where they're at now. No, I don't want to go to the mobile site. I hate on phones when they take you to the mobile site and then you say view the actual site. And when you're on the actual site, they say, do you want to view the mobile site? That doesn't even make sense. Like, I just chose to view the actual site. Anyway.
Also, mobile sites tend to suck horribly, especially Rotten Tomatoes.
It's true.
Awful.
It's terrible. It doesn't give you, like, the consensus.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of the website. So, like, that's why, this, iPhone probs, I don't know, hashtag, actually, mobile phone, smartphone probs, there you go, hashtag.
Or third world problem.
There
First
you go.
world.
You are in America. The United States.
Of America.
Of America, that's right. So I didn't even know this was coming out, but breaking news, Julius Peppers signs with the Packers. Yes! Yes! He was great like 10 years ago, but yeah, we'll take it. Packers never sign anybody. You heard it live here on Rotten Tomatoes. Now I'm taking a website. On Cup of Joe. Oh, man. Heard it live, but this is a recording. Nice. Anyway, getting back to topic. I didn't even know Veronica Mars movie was coming out, yesterday.
It's a very limited release.
That's what I figured. But it has a 76% at Rotten Tomatoes, and
pretty solid.
yeah, I've never seen the show, but I've heard the show is pretty solid.
I watched the first 5 episodes.
Yeah, were they pretty solid?
Yeah, I liked them. I didn't continue it. That's what I do. I like things and then I just don't continue them.
Yeah, I understand. So I wish I could offer more on that, but I don't know anything about it. So
Well, Veronica Mars was a TV show that starred Kristen Bell. It was her first big break, pretty much, and her father's a detective, and she used to be a popular girl in that whole clique thing, and then things went down, so then she got socially ostracized. So now she just helps her father out and solves cases and stuff like that.
interesting.
That's the gist of
It's
it.
pretty interesting. So, I mean, I'm actually kind of interested in the show and the film. So, if it's in your area, go see it. I don't know if it's here. I doubt it's here.
I don't
It's
think
in
so.
Scranton. No. Why would you come to Scranton movies? All right. Didn't know this one was coming out, but you might want to catch it. The Single Moms Club.
The Tyler Perry movie.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh. When 5 struggling single moms put aside their differences to form a support group, they find inspiration and laughter in their new sisterhood. Let's not go see that movie.
No.
What do you say? All
Yeah.
right. Okay. Moving on to the big opener of the weekend. We have Need for Speed. And it has a blazing 23%
Ouch.
at Rotten Tomatoes. Not shocking, but I personally see it doing pretty well. And I could be wrong. Are there any estimates out on Box Office Mojo for the first day? When do they come out?
Usually around noonish. You might get some like earlier projection-y kinds of things, but usually like the actual estimates come out around noon on Saturday. And then the weekend estimates come out around noon on Sunday. But yeah, early numbers seem to indicate somewhere around 6-ish million for Need for Speed for Friday, which points toward like an 18 million weekend, which is, I mean, that's pretty much in line with expectations. It's, Aaron Paul is coming off Breaking Bad, so he's got that going for him. He's fairly popular because of that, but this is the first thing he's ever done where it's like, okay, he's the draw, so it's kind of a hard sell. It very much looks like a Fast and Furious knockoff, so I think 18 million I think it's solid.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I really thought people would go, because there is going to be no Fast and Furious this year. That's going to wait till next year. And Aaron Paul really is a big pull through his popularity of Breaking Bad. So we'll see. It's probably a terrible film. It's got to be a terrible film. Judging by the 23% at Rotten Tomatoes, I have no doubt it's terrible, but it could be pretty entertaining. So I would want to see it. I don't know if you would want to see it, but I would want to see it because it may have some entertainment value. Yeah, other than that, what's gonna win the weekend, Jeremy?
Probably Mr. Peabody and Sherman. The way things are looking, 300 is likely to fall hard. Mr. Peabody and Sherman won't fall nearly as hard, and I doubt Need for Speed nor the Single Moms Club are gonna break 20 million. So it's looking like Mr. Peabody and Sherman.
And will 300 Rise of an Empire have a sequel?
I think it's going to depend a lot on how it does overseas.
Right.
And movies of its ilk tend to do pretty well overseas. So maybe like 14 years from now, we'll finally get 303.
Exactly. Like, if you're going to make a sequel, don't make it another 7 years. It's not going to work. So, oh gosh, what was the other thing I had? There was, okay, will there be an American Hustle 2 where they actually finish the ice fishing story? That's what I want to know. I want to know. This is my call to you, David O. Russell. Look, just make another film. It doesn't have to be American Hustle 2, but finish the ice fishing joke in it. Just do a spin-off of like Bradley Cooper or something,
or like a 10-minute short film or something.
Yes, something. Just finish the story. I need to know how the ice fishing story ends. And it really bothered me. No one said. It makes me believe that, like, I know you did it for humor, but it makes me think that, like, you were just like, oh gosh, I don't have anything clever enough to finish this story, so we're just gonna cut it short. So, I'm not calling you out, but I guess I'm kind of calling you out for not being clever. So, David O. Russell, I really like you. Finish the ice fishing story, alright? Okay, well, that's it for this week's episode. Crazy, we almost have like a full minute remaining, so I'm sure you guys are doing cartwheels, excited that we finished slightly early. Well, have a good week. See ya, movie.